Now, I want to make it a simple, interesting point I'm noticing in the world, in my opinion. Now, if you look at reality, the same number of people who are gay, transsexual, or bisexual is probably about equal and straight and straight. Now, again, there's a reason for this. Now, for instance, let's take Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn Jenner. Now, was originally a man who transitioned to a woman and is now a she called Caitlyn Jenner. Though he hasn't been able to change his voice and things like that, but okay, let's just talk about it in general. Now, Caitlyn would probably be better off being with a transgendered person who feels they're male. Just as an advice, a female who thinks she's a male, to balance out, if you know what I mean. See, in yin and yang and opposites attract and things like that, there's probably about the same number of gay people to straight people, and then there's the bisexuals, those who aren't completely sure, those are the only three categories you can really fit into unless you're just completely celibate and don't want sex at all, and that's the fourth possibility. Now, if you never had sex and you don't want sex and you're sick of sex and you think everybody's asexual, that's fine too. Those are the four feelings you can have. But the thing is what? Only you can determine how you feel about your body, about your sexuality, and no one else can what? Tell you how to feel. Not your parents, not someone who taught you to do that, not someone who wants you to do that, not someone who's trying to manipulate you to do that. They can't make you feel something you don't want to feel. And that's the point as well. And anything can be done good, bad, or you just don't plain want it. Whether it's good or bad. Now, I fall into that category about homosexuality and transgenderality. In my mind, I'm perfectly balanced within my body as a normal, naturally born male child. And I'm fine with that. A heterosexual. Though if I am a lesbian, I'm a transgendered lesbian in a male's body, right? Meaning I'm just completely straight, in other words. To my female side. Now we're all what, people? Male and female, even if you're XX. You're half your father and half your mother. Get that through your thick skulls. That's the ultimate truth. But another problem is what? You want to change your gender sometimes or be gay. Now, in a way, that's a problem for the law. And what I mean by that is, naturally, you're supposed to be the gender you were born. Unless what? Someone else also goes gay with you. Meaning if you're a male, a female on the opposite side would also have to go gay to balance it out. And then both of you are what? Gay. Do you understand what I mean? And if you both start out straight, same thing there's too. You're straight until you what? Change your mind and feel gay or bisexual. Those are the only ways you can feel unless you just don't want sex at all. That's the fourth way. Now, I am either straight or celibate. In other words, I want sex with an adult woman over the age of 16 in Georgia, 18 in other states. Depending on your state. And that's the age of consent, when a child can legally say, I can have sex with an adult, and the law can't do nothing legally about it. Now, that's different per state. And you are responsible for keeping up with the law, to a point. Now, like I said, but they have to publicly change every law. You can't keep it a secret and say, oh, well, we're going to change the law in Georgia to 18, from 16 to 18. If you do that, you got to do it so publicly so everyone knows. Or you're what? Entrapping people to be with 16-year-olds, right? Right. Now, the same if someone was to drive over to my house and claim to be a 16-year-old, and me and her were to initiate in a sex act and have sex, and her lose her virginity to me. Again, the key word is what? Hypothetically. I wouldn't know unless I required her driver's license if she was 16 or not. Now, I'm not saying that happened either. I'm saying that's just a hypothetical. Now, the reason I'm saying that is a friend of mine from California named Molly Zolodek came over and visited me twice. Now, the reason I required an ID is I had to pick her up at the airport. Now, what that means is what? She didn't drive from California. She flew. So as soon as she came, I verified her age was 23, whereas I was around 30 at the time, or 38, somewhere there. In our relationship or friendship or whatever you want to call it commenced from there. Now the second time she came, I didn't even card her. Why? Because I already carded her once. And we had sex the second time the last night before she left. And there's a reason for that. To try and get her pregnant. Now, see, I wasn't hitting on her the whole time. I think she was hitting on me the whole time, in my opinion. I think she wanted sex with me more than I wanted sex with her. And to check that, I just touched her vagina gently to see if she would get wet. And she got wet. And I asked her, do you want to get on top of me? Because we were watching a movie on Cinemax, I think. Something like that. And she did. We had sex, and within 1 to 2 minutes, I came. And I don't know if she did, but like I said, it was sort of a quick exchange. And I was a little bit paranoid about it, so we went to Walmart and bought some spermicide and things like that for it, not just this time, but if she wanted to come back the next time too, because that was a little unprepared. And she didn't want to get pregnant, but I knew it could be close to when she could get pregnant, so I didn't want to go any further than that doing it one time. So that's why I was trying to do all that, Molly. Now, it wasn't that I was ashamed or didn't want any more sex with you or couldn't have done more sex with you. The point there was, if you don't want a baby, it was 8 days possibly after your period, and that's when the girl can get pregnant. And you were no longer bleeding, and that's why I was trying to be careful. Now, does that mean you didn't get pregnant? No. Does that mean you did? Maybe. But only you know. I know. Now, it's also funny you didn't post any new photos for a while, and you didn't continue with your account or stuff like that. I know. Now, was I trying to get you pregnant? No. But could I have gotten you pregnant? Yes. Do I know for sure? Again, no. Like with Maribel, I know. I don't know 100%. Like with Maribel, I'm almost 75% sure. Why? Because I saw a picture of the child, unless that was a false picture. And I saw a birth certificate of the child, and she told me the child was 4 pounds, 9 ounces when he was born. And now, and what contributes to that as well is when she met the other guy, the child would have been no more than 2 pounds total weight, and if he was the other guy's. Now, if Patrick was 4 pounds 9 ounces, that proves he's what? Mine, even without a DNA test. But to make it perfect, and if she wants child support, what does she have to do? Get a DNA test. Unless what? Scott is just taking care of the child as if it's his still. Which again, I can't do nothing about that either, because he's on the birth certificate. In a way, he's the adopted legal guardian, right? Right. Even if he's my biological offspring, and he's just too stubborn as is Maribel to face reality, because anyone can be crazy, or schizophrenic, or delusional, and doesn't matter if you're Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, whatever. Merchant Marines, whatever, right? Even mercenary can have a family, but the problem is, Maribel was with a man 3 months before she was with you, and the birth weight suggests the child was in its 8th month and not 5.5. Period. Unless she was given superhuman growth hormones, and there's no way the child could be that big. And that's the problem as well. Now, my job is to tell the truth on past, present, and future. And now, why does Satan want me to know I have a child with Maribel, and making Maribel and Scott insecure about all this to where they won't give me a DNA test with Patrick? And because I fell 3 stories. And now, normally, most average human beings, unless specially trained to land or fall of that nature, would die. Now, it's not just because I fell 3 stories. It's also how I landed, asshole, that proves it, A, miracle, and B, I should have died. And it's the external injuries, which are right here, retard, that prove I should have died in the 3-story fall in the car accident. Now, this here, Mom, was when I was swollen up to 273 pounds. I know, too. That's why I'm bloated, I know, on the x-ray. Now, the left side is obviously deformed now, though I'm functioning on it normally. And another miracle. Now, the only other traumatic experience I had is the car accident. Which again, that shows damage to the C1 on down to the C4, which is 4 vertebrae. Because the windshield would have landed on my head. And I would have went into the steering wheel or something like that a little bit too, which is why they check your chest area when you're in a car accident, your head area, and your hip area. Now, the odd thing, though, is the initial surgeon reported a cut on my right big toe. How the fuck could that happen, assholes? That wouldn't even be part of any normal car accident, I know, where you cut your big toe. Only about a half a centimeter to a centimeter. Now that's a small cut, but there ain't supposed to be one if you're wearing shoes, which is a natural thing to wear in a car. And that's another point for my legal team if I even have one now. But again, no one's proven anything legally could have happened. And that's the point too. So my job is to tell you the truth from what? My perspective. Now, in my opinion, we're all one in Christ Jesus. What that means is there's probably an equal number of straight, heterosexual people who want to stay the same gender. Then there's the gay and transgender community. There's probably the same number of people who feel that way too. And then the bisexual, and then those who don't want sex at all. And each person fits into their own category according to their lifestyle choices as well. Now, Jesus said what? Judge not, lest ye be judged. Now, that means the black isn't to judge the white, nor those in the middle, nor the variants. Meaning, some people have sky blue eyes, like Suri Cruz, for example. Though her parents, Tom has more green eyes, as does Katie. But that's a what? People, a recessive gene in both Tom and Katie that produce Suri's blue eyes. Don't mean Tom's not the father, nor Katie's not the mother. But what's the point there to both of them? Check your DNA, retards, if you don't know the child is yours. Get a DNA test. It's that fucking simple. That's what I did with Jonathan anyway. Now I can't do it with Patrick. Why? Mary Bell won't give me one, nor Patrick, nor Scott. They're on the birth certificate, not me. Now, yeah, I might can obtain a copy of the birth certificate, but I don't want to force the child either if you don't even know about me. That's another problem. Does the child, Patrick, even know about me? I don't know. And I can't force that either. I'm not to judge the situation, but tell the truth and the facts of the case. Now, the only way it would be all false is what? If Mary Bell was with someone like her stepdad, Miles, which is why I'm mentioning that, Miles. I'm not saying you really did that. It's hypothetical. Same with my stepdaughter. The only way, if I was sleeping on the couch and she was sleeping with her mother, that something could have happened is if she came in there while I was asleep and woke me up. Period. And it went on from there. Now, what would have to happen, though? Either Daphne knew she came in there to me, or she did not. Now, what's going on there? She's saying it didn't happen. So am I disagreeing with her, or are you? You are. I'm not disagreeing with her that it didn't happen. Some other asshole is. Which would involve what? Coaching for that person to believe that. In other words, they're choosing because of their own lifestyle and what happened to them in their own past to transfer what happened to them over to me and my stepdaughter because it's a similar type scenario. But it's also a different type scenario because of my past before I met Daphne, which no one knows but who? Me. I know. Marceline don't know everything in my past, which is my mother. I know. Barbara Walker don't know everything in my past, which is Daphne's mother. And Sal Bissetti and his girlfriend at the time don't know me either. Now, they could have all four of them know I was schizophrenic. All right. And of course, Marceline had Big Roddy, right? So again, we have three couples, including me and my wife, who could have had interacted with the child before she even got to me. Now, who was she with the longest? Barbara Walker and her family. Then, if my mother drove up from Georgia to Virginia or Arkansas and drove back with Daphne or something, that's the only way that could have happened. Then if Sal and his girlfriend got a hold of her, because she was with her for about 3 to 4 days at least, she was with Sal and his girlfriend. Then, after all that encounter, she was finally able to spend the night with me. Maybe no more than to Monday. Which this happened when? The following weekend is when Daphne left me stranded in Tennessee. When do we leave to go to Arkansas? Friday! Why? So we can get there as fast as possible. And that's why I was driving quickly through the mountains, retarded Daphne. Seriously. I didn't know the time constraints. I didn't know how long it would take. So, again, that was my error. Doing it with a pregnant woman who was hormonal and didn't want to listen to reason. Or was it your prejudice of your family? Which, again, communication is the key. And I'm very communicative. In other words, I communicate more than the females. And they're supposed to be the communicators, right? Right. Meaning, had she told me slow down or something like that, I would have slowed down. So, all her stories are seeming like bullshit, and mine is seeming like the truth anyway. Except for one little fact. The molestation charges, which didn't arrive until I got on YouTube, which didn't come on immediately, but about 5 to 6 months after I started posting. And again, that's the point there as well. But after that, it didn't cease either. The person who was accusing me, who was trying to shame me for something that didn't even happen, because of their own shame, because of their own past, trying to transfer their past onto me. That didn't happen to me as it happened to them. And that's why I'm telling you my past versus their past, and that they're different. And we're all different. Though we're also similar. Every child at 8 months weighs what? 4 pounds, 9 ounces. Every child. Not just Mary Bell's, not just Daphne's, but both children would weigh the same weight if they were to come in the 8th month after I was with Mary Bell. Same with Daphne. If Jonathan had came in the 8th month, because Daphne couldn't carry him to term, because of whatever problem she developed, he also would have been 4 pounds, 9 ounces, and that also gives you a due date of July 3rd to July 10th, for Patrick, and then Jonathan came November 19th, and I met her, Daphne, around the middle of February too. Now, what does that mean? They were about 2 years apart, each male child. Now, is that because I prefer a male child? No. It's just the fastest sperm that got to the egg was the male sperm. That's all it means. And that's the point there too. And it means what? I more than likely have 2 sons. One proven through a DNA test, and one proven through medical knowledge. Without one. That's the point there. Now, again, It's common medical knowledge for every child. The same as the height of a couch is the same as the height of a child's inseam from the foot of their sole of their foot to the top of their crotch and area, which is what your inseam is. And a child's crotch and inseam is the same height of a couch, the sitting part where you sit down at. Why? Because the manufacturers of the couch wants the child to be able to sit on the couch, at least on the edge, and then scoot back. And that's why. Now this is every 4-year-old, not just Amanda either. Retards, slow learners, dull in the head, stupid, whatever you want to call yourselves. Ignorant, willfully ignorant, and that's what you are. That's why some of you hate education. And but the only thing that can make you free from a lie is education of the truth. But you don't want to face the truth still. You still want to what? Lie. Now the only difference between me and if there's other two witnesses, and I'm not the two from the book of Revelations, is what? And this is for Pastor Thomas and Pastor Davis. And now if I'm in the spirit of the two witnesses, that's different as well. And I'm just here to prepare you for them, because they're going to be stricter than me. And I'm more forgiving and more tolerant than the true two will be, according to John anyway. And now if you believe John, Jesus goes from a loving and benevolent being to a hateful and vengeful being in about 2,000 to 3,000 years. And that's all I can tell you for sure. And that's because of the time of Jesus and the cross. And now, Jesus goes from a loving and benevolent being telling us to even love our enemies to a hateful and vengeful God like he was in the Old Testament. After 2,000 to 3,000 years, that's all I can tell you. Possibly. And no more than 4, right? Right. You know what I mean there, right, John, if you're still around, hypothetically? Now, what's happening here? And John is obviously wanting God to judge the evil people in the world for their sins like he's sinless too. And are you sinless, John? Did not Paul say all sin and all fall short of the glory of God, who is a spirit, not flesh and blood? Even Jesus technically broke the law. So that was to show you what? Love over the law. And there's one thing that's greater than a law, that's love and forgiveness, and of breaking the law, and depending on your offense in the law too. And now certain things should be crimes, period. Rape is one of them. Statutory rape of a child is one of them. And murder is one of them. The rest of them are sort of 50-50. Even stealing from someone isn't as bad as murdering them or raping them or statutorily raping the child. Those things are the worst things you can do in the earth, in my opinion. And they're the 3 worst things you can do. And there's really only 3 in my mind that are a no-go. Murder, rape of an adult, or rape of a child, which is called statutory rape. Because the child don't know what you're doing to them, and you can even coach them into doing it. And they become comfortable with it because you can make it feel good or bad. And depending on how you do it and if you care about the child or not. And now, most of the children who complain are what? Probably done badly to where they remember it in their minds, right, Amanda? You don't remember me molesting you. You can't. I didn't. I wouldn't. The only way you can remember that is what? If either Daphne or Sal coached you ever since the incident could have happened. That would be the only way you can remember it. Or your current boyfriend, is harassing you that we really did something when we didn't. And only two people could currently be saying something happened when we probably all know, but you and him, that it didn't. And that's the point there too. And that's just what logical deduction. Not accusing you and your boyfriend either, but your boyfriend would probably be more uncomfortable with it than you, right? Though, what would he be doing? Being an asshole. Now, if you love him, I know a girl loves who she loves. I'm not even into that. I don't want you to break up with your boyfriend or anything like that either, and I don't cause a girl to break up with her boyfriend. Never have, never will. But if you break up naturally because he's an asshole, that's his fault too. Now, what does that mean? You have to go on from him to another guy in your what area? And you don't go pining for your stepdad because he is a good person and better the person, and you probably won't find any person better either. That's just laziness on your part. And plus, I don't even know what you look like. Because I don't keep up with you as a stepdaughter, because now you're an ex-stepdaughter, but I still have a child with your mother, so legally we're not supposed to be together according to the law of Moses, because you're not supposed to have a mother and her daughter that you know of unless the daughter blackmails you or something, and that's the point there. And like I said, the only way I would have been with any child is if the child tried to blackmail me, and only two of them could have done it where they might have gotten away with it. And though if I don't remember it, what does that mean? One of the two things happened. Either the mother, to protect herself and the child, knocked me out, but I came back to the next morning with no signs of a trauma, like with the car accident, which could have happened. Or nothing happened at all, and I was just with the mother, and that's the point there too. And but who would want to hide that more, the mother or the child? The mother. If the daughter were to come in there to me and force me to have sex with her, and we did. And again, I don't remember it because I would say, well, just knock me out, and I won't remember anything. That's called amnesia, and it'll be similar to the car accident, and I might tell her about the car accident then. I don't think he'll kill me or anything, but I just won't remember anything either. And I might even suggest that to both mothers if their daughters came in there to be due. Because I look for a solution to a problem if one was to develop anyway. Unless I couldn't find one and the girl forced me and blackmailed me and said I was screaming anyway and tell her you did it anyway, like was Joseph from Potiphar's wife. That can happen too. Now, if that happened, the mother knocked me out, like I told her, advised her to do. And I just don't remember it, because sex can last anywhere from a minute to a long time, depending on how fast the person does it. And if it's a child and it's only her first time, I would let her be on top. Plus, if she was trying to force me, I would have to let her be on top. And the reason being is the mother, if she were to walk in on it and I was on top, would accuse me of raping her. And it could basically get away with it. But if she's on top, like with Molly and Maribel, Daphne never got on top because she's a bigger woman. But again, Maribel and Daphne and Molly did. I mean, Maribel and Molly and Elise did. Now, Rose got on top, and I think besides her, she was the only one who got on top. I know. Only three of them that I remember, Molly, Maribel, and Rose, got on top. And the rest of them were just missionary. Oh yeah, there's one more, the girl from Boston. And she got on top. And we came together, right, dear? And because I can control my ejaculation as well until the girl comes herself. Now, I can't tell you how fast Molly came, if she came quickly. Same with Maribel, but it felt like we came at the same time, right? Now, who's would lie about that, though? Mary Bell or Molly or the girls? Especially if they're embarrassed about enjoying the sex, which means what? They weren't really in love with me, but was just fucking me for the thrill. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it was a thrill when I found you. Like I said. And, if the girls, both of them were being molested and were still virgins but wanted to lose their virginities to me, that could have happened as well, but the mother would have to also knock me out. So I don't remember it as well. And I would sort of have to let her and then have them both put me on the couch and just wake up the next morning. And again, or the chair, which is where I went to sleep in the apartment on Ocean View in Virginia. Now, there's Ocean View, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, and Portsmouth in the Virginia area, and it's sort of like north, east, south, and west. Ocean View is east, Virginia Beach is more west, and Norfolk is probably northeast, and Portsmouth is probably southwest or southeast. In comparison. And that's sort of the point. But that's a person who actually lived in Virginia and knows the area as well by memory. Now, how can you tell if I'm accessing a memory or making up a story? The thing is, you can't. Unless I have a tell or something, which again, you can't pick the tell on there. Like, if suddenly my left eye starts blinking and I've been having some kind of problem with it, that don't mean that's a tell either. Or my right eye, which blinks more frequently than my left sometimes, because it's had vision problems since I was a child. They tried to put me in glasses and did operation on my eye when I was 12 years old. In Savannah, in Memorial, when I was 12 years old. Now, this dates back to when I was a child. And that's the whole point. And that's the difference between medical facts versus a fictional story as well. So anyway, this is my new video for 5/18/2017 or May 18th, 2017. It's 6:35 a.m. A new day, a new dollar.